Hello and welcome to the Channel 1 Newsroom from our studios at number 5, Owula Hanselin at Tesano. I'm Frema Edunyame. Coming up. Nurses strike cripples OPD services nationwide.
Unlucky for me, they are on strike, so I have no other choice than to go home. With them, I can use the National Health to buy some of the drugs and purchase some free, but for now, I have to buy all of them, and it's not easy.
Minority petitions IGP over delay in Ablekuma North parliamentary results.
We therefore request that your office takes immediate steps without any more delay. Deploy adequate security personnel to the Electoral Commission at its designated collation center. Ensure an enabling environment for the peaceful and lawful conclusion and collation and declaration process in Ablekuma North.
President Mahama assures no immediate fuel price hike despite new One Ghana Cedi petroleum levy.
With the recent gains in macro stability and strengthening of the Ghanaian cedi, this levy is not expected to result in any immediate fuel price increases at the pump. We are fully aware of the burden this will place on households and businesses, but I want to assure Ghanaians that this decision was not taken lightly.
Also coming up, Channel 1 TV marks 7 years of impactful broadcasting.
I think the Ghanaian society has accepted us. You know, some of us have been in radio for 2 decades, and some of the stuff we do on TV, people say, look, we know you guys, you're incredible, you are consistent, you love the country. So for me, it's a day of joy.
In Channel 1 Business. Recor Group to acquire 60% stake in AT Ghana. And in Channel 1 Sports, Nations FC face sanctions after controversial walk-off. Now in our first story, healthcare delivery nationwide is reeling under the impact of the strike by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. The industrial action has halted services at the outpatients departments of major health facilities nationwide, leaving patients frustrated. More in the following report.
The strike, which has entered day 3, stems from delay by the government to implement a 2024 collective agreement which contains provisions for the conditions of service for nurses and midwives, including a 13th month salary, fuel and medical allowances, and renewal of their practicing licenses by government. Channel 1 News' checks at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital in Accra reveal a non-operational OPD as patients expressed concern about its impact.
It's unfortunate for me because my BP drugs are finished, so I wanted to come so that they can direct me to a doctor for them to write some prescription for me. But unlucky for me, they are on strike, so I have no other choice than to go home. With them, I can use the National Health to buy some of the drugs and purchase some free, but for now, I have to buy all of them. And it's not easy. Being a dialysis patient and buying drugs, it's not easy. So
what will your call to the striking work?
We are begging them to come back. We are pleading with them. In God's name, we are pleading with them to come back. They have no other choice than to help us. So we are begging them to come back.
The situation is no different in the Ashanti region, where services at health facilities, including the Menchia and South Central hospitals, have been significantly disrupted. Here, patients waited in long queues and, in some cases, were turned away.
When somebody comes in, we need to triage the patient. That is, we need to know their vitals, the BP, the fasting blood or running, their weight, their height, and this is all done by our nurses. Once they are not here, that is a difficulty. Those who have been replacing them, we need to have some experience. So yes, we are trying to help modifying, but it's quite a difficult one. So the most important is from the triage. It's quite a difficult one.
Consequently, some hospitals like the Ifia Nkwanta Hospital in Sekendi in the Western region are relying on rotational nurses for essential services as patients re-echoed the troubling impact of the strike.
So we came for a child welfare clinic, but we were not attended to because the nurses say they are on strike.
Did you have to stop something that you were doing?
Yes, I had to leave school and then come for the clinic. So I left my job and then came for the child welfare clinic.
What have you got to do? Striking nurses and
Okay, so to the government, I think whatever the nurses are demanding, you should give it to them so that they can get back to work. And then to the nurses, we are pleading with them that they should also reconsider their decisions.
As concerns continue to intensify, health authorities in the Volta region, where the situation remains same, have warned against the involvement of unauthorized personnel in the provision of health care. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health has appealed to the association to call off their strike for further negotiations on their demands.
This committee has been accepted by the nurses. However, they said they will serve on the committee, all right, but they will still embark on the strike. We are appealing to them to go back to work whilst we have this negotiation. It is important to note that since the coming into office of the Honourable Minister for Health, Honourable Kobina Kando, the document we are talking about, we have not sat with them together with the Ministry of Finance to look at the document. They are just saying that because it was discussed by the previous administration, it has to be signed. The minister is just appealing and pleading with them that it's important for him to also know what actually went into the negotiation so that he would advise his colleague going forward. We must know that the health sector, we have 80 to 90 health professionals. And if you come to office, you must look at what is there.
The minority in Parliament has petitioned the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yohunu, urging him to provide immediate protection for officials of the Electoral Commission to facilitate the declaration of the parliamentary election results for the Ablekuma North constituency. Now, according to the minority, it has been 6 months since the 2024 general elections were held, yet the EC has failed to announce the parliamentary results for the constituency. They argue that the prolonged delay constitutes a violation of the constitutional rights of the people of Ablekuma North to parliamentary representation. Channel 1 News' Ni Ayikwe Okain reports.
Members of the minority caucus in Parliament on Wednesday marched to the police headquarters to petition the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yohunu, to deploy adequate security personnel to support the Electoral Commission in completing the collation and declaration of the 2024 parliamentary election results for the Ablekuma North constituency. The group argues that 6 months after the polls, the continued absence of a declared member of parliament for the constituency is a blatant violation of the constitutional rights of Ablekuma North constituents to political representation.
The continued disenfranchisement of the people of Ablekuma North represent not only a denial of their constitutional rights to representation, but also an affront to the democratic principles enshrined in the 1992 Constitution. This crisis erodes public trust in the integrity and independence of state institutions, particularly the Ghana Police Service. We therefore request that your office takes immediate steps without any more delay. Deploy adequate security personnel to the Electoral Commission at its designated collation center. Ensure an enabling environment for the peaceful and lawful conclusion and collation and declaration process in Ablekuma North. Uphold the High Court directive and cooperate fully with the EC to bring closure to this matter once and for all.
Meanwhile, the Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor, was in Parliament on Wednesday to answer questions from lawmakers. He disclosed that the total indebtedness of the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, currently stands at about 67 billion Ghana cedis. He announced plans by the government to clear the debt.
Right, Honourable Speaker, when we were leaving office, the losses were around 22%. On assumption of office, it had hit almost 40%. I'm happy to announce that the losses are reducing. We also want to ensure that we stick to the cash water flow mechanism, and so far we've been doing so. We are going to renegotiate with the IPPs again because we believe that they've made a lot from the state, and this is the time for the IPPs to also show some commitment so we can sustain this sector. Mr. Speaker, we are working to involve the private sector in the billing and collection at the last mile with ECG and possibly NEDCO, so that they can bring expertise, they can bring the needed revenue and overall efficiency when it comes to collections.
The minority says the Ghana Police Service must not be perceived as the institution standing in the way of democracy, hence the need for the immediate deployment of security personnel to the Electoral Commission to facilitate the completion and declaration of results for the Ablekman North constituency following the 2024 parliamentary elections. Reporting for Channel 1 News, Ni Ayikwe Okan, Parliament.
Meanwhile, the 2024 presidential candidate of the new Patriotic Party and former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has taken a swipe at the Mahama-led administration following the introduction of a new energy sector levy, describing it as a doomsday levy. Addressing party supporters on Wednesday, June 4, Bawumia accused the National Democratic Congress of double standards and deception.
NDC for every day. Obiehu ejintra obucha enra na yo sembo nyina mo omo di dumso levy aba dumso levy so first no mo say e levy na ye di aba omo be yi e levy no omo be yi ene omo di dumso levy aba. It is 8 times the e levy omo ansusu anye o. And then uto 1 liter of petrol, 1 cedi na ubetia. Uto 1,000 cedis of petrol, ubetia 83 cedis. 83 cedis as tax. E-levy no usende obi 1,000 momwa ubetia 10 cedis. Omu and then ubetia 4,000 ubetia 83 cedis for fuel.
President John Mahama has revealed that the introduction of the 1 Ghana cedi levy on petroleum products will not result in immediate fuel price increases at the pumps. Speaking during a presentation of the final report on the National Economic Dialogue, the president indicated that the adjustment is necessary and justifiable. Channel 1 News' presidential correspondent Akusia Otre reports.
Exactly 3 months after government held the National Economic Dialogue, the committee turned to the seat of government to present its final report detailing recommendations to restoring Ghana's economy. Chairman of the National Economic Dialogue Planning Committee, Dr. Ishmael Yamson, is optimistic that the report will support the president's efforts to reset the economy.
We're excited to know that even before we have the opportunity to present the final report to you, some of the key recommendations which were fed into the 2025 budget are already being implemented with spectacular results. The recent rapid recovery of the value of the cedi against major currencies has astounded many people who doubted the government's resolve to reset Ghana and its economy. Naturally, the question being asked is whether this is just a blip.
Speaking on the rationale behind the recent introduction of the 1 cedi on the energy sector levy, President John Mahama acknowledged the public's concerns but emphasized that the decision was crucial to securing Ghana's energy future.
Parliament yesterday approved an amendment to the Energy Sector Levies Act and a certificate of urgency introducing a 1 cedi, Ghana cedi increase in the energy sector recovery levy. This decision, though difficult, is necessary and justifiable. The additional revenue projected is 5.7 billion cedis annually. This revenue will be strictly ring-fenced to pay down legacy energy debt, finance ongoing fuel purchase, and avert the risk of recurring power shortages. Funds from this levy will not be subject to the hazards of the consolidated fund. And the minister is here. I know when money falls into the consolidated fund, it faces certain hazards. It will not be subject to the hazards of the consolidated fund. The fund will be regularly audited and audit reports made public to ensure its transparent use.
He also indicated that fuel prices will not increase immediately as a result of the levy.
With the ongoing developments in the upstream sector, we expect to receive more gas from our E&I Sankofa and Jubilee and 10 fields. With also the assurance of additional gas through the West African gas pipeline, we expect to substantially reduce the use of liquid fuels in our energy mix. At that stage, the resources generated by this increased levy will be channeled to pay down accumulated legacy debts in the power sector.
Now we're joined in studio by a member of Parliament's Energy Committee and New Patriotic Party MP for Efia, Honourable Isaac Bama Nyako. And he's here to help us unpack recent developments in the energy sector and also touch on a few other pressing political matters. You're welcome, Honourable.
Thank you for having me, Frema. How are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm also good, thank you.
Super. Now let's just go straight to this one Ghana cedi levy, that is lurking around. Before the energy sector levy amendment bill was laid in Parliament, your committee met with the energy minister. Was this proposal discussed that it was going to be introduced?
Thank you very much once again, and a very good evening to our viewers and the good people of Efia constituency whom I represent. Let me just put on record that officially I've been moved from the Energy Committee to Finance Committee.
Right.
However, I have been co-opted back to the Energy Committee by the leadership as a friend to the committee. So I still sit on the Energy Committee, but as a friend of the committee, but now a member of the Finance Committee of Parliament. So so we get that clarity.
Thank you for putting it in proper context.
So the few meetings that we had with the Minister for Energy, it never came up. So this was a very big surprise to us as a Parliament and as a people. So if you check the proceedings of Parliament yesterday, the minority leader had cause to complain with the leadership of the majority that this never came up even during conclave when they had to plan the business of the day. And so I think it was just one of the strategies of the government to take advantage of what is happening within the economic spectrum of the country to spring a surprise on Ghanaians and on us as a minority. And I thought that was very unfortunate because this was a very critical policy direction of government, and it required a lot of tactfulness, energy, and conversation. So even the need to have passed it under a certificate of urgency was quite problematic. And when they came to explain at the committee level, we made it clear that this particular decision of government is very unpopular, and it's going to cause a lot of destabilization within the market play in terms of our fuel.
Is that why you stayed a walkout?
Yes, of course. We don't want to be associated with this. You see, it's not about the cost of fuel today. It is about the principle of pushing the burden of levying Ghanaians. And the levy is huge. It's 1 Ghana cedi per litre of fuel. And so if you do 4.5 litres, which is a gallon, you are paying over 4 Ghana cedis per gallon. That, I think, is too much. We are talking about levying a gallon. So if it was even 1 cedi per gallon, one would have even considered that would have been like 0.25 per litre. But to slap 1 Ghana cedi per litre, I think that is too much. It's so insensitive on the part of government.
The president himself has agreed to this because he's admitted that it's quite difficult. But considering where we are now, drastic measures need to be taken to avert a possible energy crisis. You don't think that this has to be done?
You see, Frema, let's be honest to the good people of Ghana. As a president, if you have an intent, the facts are before you. The blatant information concerning the energy crisis is clear. We all know the deficits that we face. And so if the president is minded to introduce something, it's good we engage. It is good you inform the good people of Ghana, give justification. You don't come and spring that surprise on Ghanaians. You don't use the fact that fuel prices have gone down to take advantage and slap it in the face of Ghanaians. So tomorrow, if the inevitable should happen and fuel prices begin to rise, what will happen? This is a bill that has come. We've passed it yesterday night and it's going into law. The president may sign it today, tomorrow, and it will become part of our levies we charge in this country. And so when prices even go up, the levies are there. And the percentage, you know, we used to pay 95 pesos and now it's going to 195 pesos per liter. That is scandalous, Reba. I don't think that is fair.
Well, but you know, so one of the justifications for this levy is to be able to generate funds, you know, to purchase liquid fuel so that the existing levies like the ESLA and others can focus on clearing the debt. You don't think that where we are? You mentioned the fact that the city is stabilized now, is doing pretty much better, you know, in recent times. Shouldn't we take advantage of this, looking at also the signs out there? I mean, we can't run away from the fact that we have energy challenges, we have situations. So is this not justifiable enough?
Yeah, so I'm not against government finding sources of revenue to pay off this legacy debt and the continuing debt that we face. But the reality is that there are inefficiencies in the system. We've been talking about this over the years. ECG is unable to pay for the electricity that they sell. We are having deficits of about 30 to 40% of distribution and collection losses. And so what are we doing to remedy the situation? And then secondly, is it the only way you can raise revenue? And that is why I'm saying that we are not against government trying to find ways of doing it. But can you pass all that responsibility to the unsuspecting Ghanaian? Why should that burden be put on fuel? Because fuel is the engine of growth of the economy. We are only gracious to God that we've had this stability in terms of our currency. It is important that we build trust with the good people of Ghana. When it comes to taxes, you don't just wake up and spring a surprise. You owed it to the good people of Ghana. You promised them that you were removing taxes. You took away e-levy. E-levy was just 1% up to a cap. And then it was generating 1.2 billion. And then we had an issue with e-levy. If someone sends 1,000 Ghana, he was charged only 10 Ghana cedis. And we made noise about removing e-levy. And we thought we had done a good thing to the good people of Ghana. 5 months down the line, less than 3 months, we are here facing more than 400 percentage points in terms of taxing. And I think that is too much. You know, we should let the good people of Ghana understand that governance is not deceit. You should be able to go to them. You explain. And that is why I thought the engagement was not enough. You can't come to Parliament yesterday, tell us that you want to introduce a tax. Within 24 hours, you pass the tax, and then the president is out there telling us, oh, I understand your feeling, but this is something that we ought to do.
But the good people of Ghana don't want to experience doom so whatever it takes to ensure that we don't go there, you don't think government needs to do that?
No, so we are here, this is the position of government. We are not against the position, but we are saying that the levy and the quantum is too much. There are other innovative ways. Right. This, you know, when you tax fuel, it is an easy way of revenue generation. If you don't want to think, if you don't think of other ways that will cost you minimal, then you want to push that burden on fuel because everybody relies on fuel.
Very well, very well. Let's move a little bit away, you know, from that and look at election 2024. Your side went to petition the IGP for what? Considering that this is a polling station result verification stuff, what should the IGP do?
Frima, the court had pronounced on the 17th of January that the police should provide adequate security for the Electoral Commission to conclude the collation of the results. EC had indicated to the good people of Ghana that all they required was security, because they have all the information to put together and make a declaration. Why is it that the police service have not done that? The next time EC wanted to do it, the police did not provide the men. They gave explanation that looking at some security concerns, they thought it wasn't appropriate. Beyond then, what has been the engagement with the Electoral Commission? Why are we behaving like this? 5 months since we were sworn in as MPs, the entire Ablekuman North area, they don't have representation.
But considering the primary responsibility falls on the EC, why not push the EC? Why the police?
It's the police who is to provide security. EC says, I'm ready. Because when they went to make the declaration, people stormed the place. They vandalized the premises of the Electoral Commission. So the EC cannot protect itself. The police, the IGP, is the head of the Elections Task Force. He has responsibility to make sure that everybody's security is protected, including the Electoral Commission.
But have you engaged, has the minority engaged the EC directly on this issue?
EC has made it known to all of us.
Have you engaged them directly?
She has spoken to us as a people.
People as minority or Ghanaians?
No, as Ghanaians. She says, I'm ready.
So you've not directly engaged EC?
We don't need engaging EC. EC says, I'm ready. Police, provide me security. If police provide security, and EC says, I cannot declare, then we have a case to go to the EC. But the EC says, I'm ready. I only need protection. I need security. And why would we deny an entire constituency? It's a representative. Even I, representing the good people of Ifia, look at what we go through daily to meet the expectations of our people. So the entire Blekuma North, who is representing them? Is it the president? Is it the minister? Please.
Well, we can only wait to hear from the police and also see how this turns out.
But we need the media to support the people of Ablekuma.
That's why you're talking about it here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable Isaac Bama Nyako is a Member of Parliament for Efia constituency. This is a Channel 1 newsroom. Moving on, the High Court has ordered Thomas Owusu Andi, the second accused A2, in a corruption case to pay a total of 206,000 Ghana cedis within 1 week, following the adoption of a plea agreement between A2 and the Office of the Special Prosecutor. A2 pleaded guilty to 3 counts of using public office for profit. In return, the prosecution agreed to withdraw 6 other charges, including corruption of a public officer and accepting bribes. The charges stem from a 2019 expose by Tiger IPI, which implicated Owusu and then presidential staffer Charles Bisu in a scheme to bypass mining, license and procedures in exchange for bribes. Under the plea agreement, A2 has agreed to pay 200,000 Ghana cedis in restitution and an additional 6,000 Ghana cedis fine, equivalent to 500 penalty units. This is a Channel 1 newsroom. Still to come. Recor Group to acquire 60% stake in AT Ghana. We'll be right back with the details and more. Do stay.
Hi, my name is Ochiame Kwame. I live at the plush Leisure Den Symphonic, a real estate property developed by Waymead Properties, the very developers of Vista Del Mare and the beautiful Alphabet City. So come with me to site. Let me introduce you to your new home, a gated community with 24-hour security in the heart of Sakomono. Behind me is going to be Willow Lane, where elegance will meet tranquility. You are going to be greeted with a 4-bedroom ensuite home with an elevator, swimming pool, children's playground, constant electricity, and many more. But wait, it gets even more interesting for early birds like you. You get a whopping $50,000 discount. Yes, I said $50,000 if you purchase between now and the end of this month. So call us now or visit us, Willow Lane, where elegance meets tranquility.
You're welcome back. Next is Channel 1 Business with Neteli Nete Ajahu.
Channel 1 Business is brought to you by MTN and EcoBank.
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees emergency. Mommy, chop money emergency. Emergency. Catch it. I'm your rent emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town.
More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got.
Dial star 770 hash for all your money emergencies and chop life.
Dial star 770 hash for money emergencies and get easy and quick access to your money, loans, and other banking needs. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
You're welcome, Natalie.
Thank you very much.
Nice shades of nude you have there.
Thank you very much. I also like your shades of mauve purple. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now, Recor is coming in. You know,
yes,
the one that's taking 80.
Yes, in 80
right.
former Airtel. Now,
Yeah.
then that means they're going to have a bigger share of the profits of the, yes, in 80 Ghana Limited. I think Cabinet is going to lose a huge chunk of that share.
Well, give us the details.
Okay. Canadian multinational Recor Group Incorporated has announced plans to acquire a 60% controlling stake at AT Ghana Limited, signaling its entry into Ghana's telecommunications sector. This was contained in a statement issued by the group dated June 4, 2025, which states that a transaction, which is still subject to regulatory approval and due diligence, is being pursued in partnership with local operator Afritel Ghana Limited. This strategic move aligns with Recron's ambition to expand its global infrastructure portfolio and strengthen its presence in emerging markets. The company views Ghana's rapidly evolving digital economy and increasing demand for connectivity as key growth drivers. Now, Ghana's inflation rate fell sharply to 18.4% year-on-year in May 2025. This is down from the 21.2% recorded in April and marks the lowest rate since February 2022. It also extends the country's inflation trend into its fifth consecutive month as the rate nearly halved from its 2022 peaks. There's more in this report.
Data from the Ghana Statistical Service shows that inflation softened across most divisions in May 2025, with the largest drop observed in transport sector. The transport sector inflation reduced by 11.8 percentage points from 14.9% in April 2025 to 3.8% in May 2025. 5 out of the 13 divisions, including food and non-alcoholic beverages, housing, water, electricity and gas, among others, contributed to over 70% of the total inflation of 18.4% in May 2025. The government statistician, Dr. Alhassan Idrisu, has been providing highlights of the data.
And this May 2025 inflation is actually influenced by food inflation of 22.8%, down from 25% in April 2025, and non-food inflation of 14.4%, down from 17.9% in April 2025. In addition, the 18.4% year-on-year inflation is also influenced by inflation on locally produced items
Now, governments and key oil and gas partners have signed a landmark memorandum of understanding to ensure that extend production licenses for the Jubilee and 10 oil fields until 2040. The agreement marks a significant milestone in Ghana's energy sector, paving the way for continued investment and long-term development of the country's petroleum industry. The MOU was signed between the Government of Ghana, Tullow Oil PLC, Cosmos Energy, Petro SA, the Ghana National Petroleum Company, and its subsidiary Explorco. It covers the West Cape 3 points, the deep water tunnel blocks, which include the flagship Jubilee and 10 oil fields. As part of the agreements, the partners have received approval to drill up to 20 additional wells in the Jubilee field, representing a potential $2 billion investment over the life of the extended licenses. Now let's bring you an update on how the currency is performing on the interbank market. And that's it for Channel 1 Business. I am Neteli Netiajahu. Back to you, Frema.
Thank you very much, Neteli. Right, let's do some more stories now. The national chairman of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, has dismissed allegations of political vindictiveness or personal vendetta in ongoing corruption probes by the state. He explained that probing appointees of the previous administration is crucial to delivering manifesto commitments. He was speaking during the 46th commemoration of the June 4 uprising at Agomanya in the Lower Manya Krobo municipality, from where our Eastern Regional correspondent Neil Ni Amati Kanaku reports.
The 46th anniversary celebration was held to commemorate the June 4 uprising, a pivotal event in Ghana's history, which occurred on June 4, 1979, led by Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. The national chairman, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, was joined by Dr. Zaneto Ajiman Rawlings and Kimathi Rawlings' children of former President Jerry John Rawlings to light up the perpetual flame. Addressing the gathering, NDC national chairman, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, who emphasized the revolution's enduring principles, stressed the importance of holding appointees of the previous government accountable as part of delivering on the party's manifesto commitment.
We must send a strong signal to our own party members and our own functionaries and our own appointees that whatever will be happening to the appointees of the previous government will very soon be happening to our own appointees who engage in the same misconduct. It is then and only then that Ghanaians will take us serious.
Dr. Zaneto Ajiman Rawlings, MP for Klote constituency and daughter of former President J.J. Rawlings, advocated for youth involvement in decision-making to promote development and drive positive change.
The UN Security Council Resolution 2419, which was adopted in 2018, calls for the full inclusion of young people in negotiation and implementation of peace agreements, but it also recognizes the importance of the greater participation of young people in decision-making.
A 50-year-old man has been convicted and fined by the Tamale Circuit Court for illegally installing inline water pumps to boost water flow on the Ghana Water Limited service pipeline. Ibrahim Bako Al-Hassan, a businessman, was found guilty of siphoning water meant for the Sakasaka community into his private reservoir and selling same to water tanker operators, who in turn sell to residents. Our Northern Regional correspondent Shawana Yusuf has more in this report.
Circuit Court Judge Francis Asobaire Ayamwone sentenced Mr. Al-Hassan to pay a fine of 300 penalty units, equivalent to 3,600 Ghana cedis, or in default, serve a custodial sentence of 12 months after taking into account the presence of a child under Mr. Al-Hassan's care. The The Northern Regional Chief Manager of Ghana Water Limited, Stephen Amihie-Mensah, lamented the impact of such illegal acts on efforts to supply water to all customers.
So what Ghana Water Company is doing is to ration the water for Tamale people, so that at least every month all households in Tamale should be able to get one supply. But this has been very, very difficult through illegal connections, and to make the matter worse, people using inline pumps. So we set up a task force to go around searching for inline pumps, so that at least if the water is in the corridor of an area, most people in the area will get it, instead of only one person drawing all the water and reduce pressures on the corridor.
Mr. Stephen Amihie-Mensah, while welcoming the judgment, assured of continued efforts in clamping down on people consuming water illegally in the region. Ghana Water Company officials have also urged the public to report any suspicious water diversion as efforts continue to ensure fair distribution during the crisis.
We, Ghana Water Company, we are very happy and want to inform the people of Tamale that we shall not rest on our OS. We shall go around checking for illegal connections and people using inline pumps. So we are only pleading to them to stop those acts. Because when we are apprehended by our team, we shall not hesitate to process you for court.
Now, what started as a signal today echoes as a voice across the nation, connecting hearts and shaping minds. Channel One TV is commemorating its 7th anniversary with a celebration of 70 years of impactful broadcasting, a journey marked by credible journalism, inspiring storytelling, and a steadfast commitment to informing, educating, and entertaining Ghanaians. Jubilee Kenten brings us a report on 7 years of telling your stories and empowering change.
It's been 7 years of impact, 7 years of informing, entertaining, and inspiring the Ghanaian people through compelling storytelling. This is the journey of Channel One Television. Established in 2018 and formerly known as City TV, the station began its operations at Adabraka, Accra. Adabraka was a defining chapter where, together with multi-talented and multi-skilled staff, management introduced compelling content to register the name of the station as the fastest growing TV channel in Ghana. Its TV operations subsequently moved to Tesano. On June 4, 2024, the station rebranded as Channel One TV. This strategic transformation was aimed at establishing a more distinct and cohesive brand identity in an increasingly competitive media landscape. Since then, Channel One TV has remained committed to delivering top-tier content, positioning itself as a leading source of news, business, and educational programming in Ghana. The celebration of Channel One TV's 7th anniversary is not just a milestone, it is a reaffirmation of the station's core values, truth, credibility, and accuracy. Managing Director of Channel One TV and City FM Samuel Atamenta applauded the dedication, resilience, and creativity of the Channel One team that has fueled the station's growth and success.
So as we thank God, we as management will take this opportunity to thank you for making this happen. Without you, there won't be stories to tell. So we thank you. We really, really thank you. And for those of you who started with us, we say a big congratulations. Those of you who joined along the way, a big congratulations.
Some staff here at Channel One TV also shared their reflections on the journey so far and their hopes for the future.
I think the Ghanaian society has accepted us. You know, some of us have been in radio for 2 decades, and some of the stuff we do on TV, people say, look, we know you guys, you've been incredible, you are consistent, you love the country. So for me, it's a day of joy. If we knew where we would be 7 years after we started, we would have been a bit more assured. God is always doing more than we ask or think, so we can always say, we definitely hope to be alive. We definitely hope to see Ghana transitioning into a more stable, prosperous society, a more honest society, and that the media will be one of the vehicles to attain that.
Great experience, especially working from the newsroom and also on the current affairs desk, telling the stories about the lives of people, their sufferings, their victories, their challenges, and especially also telling stories which make an impact or have impacted the society. For example, the issue with the floods up there in the Ada areas during the spillage of the Akosombo Dam. So yes, 7 years of telling these great stories, these impactful stories. I must say that I'm happy about it. I'm glad about it. I appreciate all those who've given us the opportunity to tell the stories.
No, it's been a good time. We started, as you know, 7 years ago. Last year, we took a bold step and we rebranded from City TV to Channel One TV because we felt that the Channel One TV brand had grown beyond leaps and bounds, beyond our own imaginations and hopes. And for that matter, we needed to restructure what we were doing so that we could move forward and make bigger footprints. We're in an era where you can't afford to tell stories for the sake of telling stories or to create content for the sake of creating content. There needs to be an impact at the end of the tunnel, at the end of the journey, when you embark on a storytelling, sort of odyssey, if you like. And you will see a lot of that in the 7 years to come. And give him the glory, great things he has done.
Indeed, the great things that the Lord has done. Channel One TV is 7 years. Special thanks going out to our viewers who have stuck with us over the years, and of course management is assuring that we'll continue to tell the stories that empower change. Reporting for Channel One News, I am Jubilee Akente.
Indeed, we are committed to telling your story and empowering change. This is Channel One TV, still to come. Nations FC face sanctions after controversial walk-off. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
She's coming. She's coming!
Oh, it's in.
Red Hour receive now! Boss, let's go back. Here, take this.
She's coming.
I know. Go to the pharmacy now.
She's coming! She's here.
Pay faster, pay safer, and pay easy with Momo app. Download now and pay with the QR code, merchant ID, and so much more. In a fast-growing urban environment like Accra, safety is as important as the air that we breathe. Hear the real stories from those who now feel safe like never before with Response One.
One night, I heard the glass shattering. Armed robbers had broken in. Before I could react, the alarm blared and the lights flashed, and Response One was already on their way. Within minutes, the security was at my door and the armed robbers had fled. I never want to be that scared again. And now I know with Response One, I never will.
Don't wait for tragedy to strike. Protect your home with Response One's monitored alarm system and our theft protection guarantee. Immediate response, real protection. Response One, stay connected, stay protected.
My name is Lydia Safwa. I'm from Safusco Ghana Limited. I'm the managing director for the company. I'll commend MasterCard Foundation and Absa Bank for the 10% loan for women-led businesses and agri-businesses, because this facility came in at the right time for Safusco. The facility helped us to get machinery for our detergent powder and other raw materials to help us come out with 3 products. That's the detergent powder, the African black soap, and the bleach. We were able to employ 15 youth in addition to our working force, and this has really helped boost our productivity and revenue as well. Annually, we organize the Global Hand Washing Day in schools within our vicinity. We hope to make sure that Safusco helps to combat diseases from the schools. We are trying to have volunteers within the school. Those volunteers will help make sure that the project is being sustained in the school.
Hello again. Next is Channel 1 Sports with Benjamin Nketia. Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary, Fema.
How are you? Did I see you this morning at the breakfast?
I was in like a brief period. I had to head out.
Oh, I really wanted to see you in your white pants.
No, I saw you in your aviators. You know, fly girl stuff.
I beg you, continue.
No, let me
No, it's okay, it's okay. Please give us what's happening in sports.
Let me get into the details. And Nations FC's controversial walk-off during their penultimate match of the Ghana Premier League season may now carry serious consequences, as the GFA is expected to enforce strict disciplinary measures. The Abrankesi-based club, who are still chasing their first ever Premier League title, now find themselves at the center of disciplinary scrutiny following their unprecedented decision to abandon a crucial match against Basake Holy Stars in March week 33. There's more in the following report. Let's move on to some tennis now and get to the Roland Garros, and world number 2 Coco Gauff overcame a scrappy start to beat fellow American Madison Keys and reached the semi-finals of the French Open. Now Gauff won 6-7, 6-4, 6-1 under the roof of court Philippe Chatrier to reach her third semi-final at Roland Garros. Here is the American top seed speaking after progressing to the semis.
The fighting spirit, I think, is something that, I've had naturally, but trying to be more positive is something I had to work on. And I'm really happy with how I'm able to reset and be positive and try my best to give, the best mentality to show up. And people from other sports that I've looked up to, Sydney McLaughlin is someone that I really like and look up to in that way. Simone Biles, I think she just pushes herself. And to me, that's, crazy because, in tennis, we had Rafa and Roger and Novak all pushing each other. But in gymnastics, she kind of doesn't really have anyone. So the fact she's able to move that needle against herself, I think, is pretty cool. And then you have the obvious, like LeBron and Michael with those, and Kobe with that Mamba mentality. I think those are people I look up to outside of tennis. But in tennis, the usual Serena, Rafa, Novak, Roger.
And that's all for Channel 1 Sports. Over to you, Frema.
Thank you very much, Benjamin. Right now, away from sports, vehicular knockdowns involving school children are increasing at an alarming rate due to the absence of functioning traffic lights in the area. All 9 traffic lights in Kaswa are not functioning, posing a danger to road users. Our Central Regional Correspondent, Akwesiado, reports that at Walatu, one of the busiest intersections, 5 school children have been knocked down since the traffic lights malfunctioned.
Kaswa, densely populated area within the Awutu-Senya East, has 9 traffic control systems, with 7 of them located in the central township and 2 on the Kaswa-Winiba Highway. However, these traffic lights have not been functioning for several years, with some broken beyond repair. At Walantu Junction, a busy intersection, 5 school children have been knocked down by vehicles since the traffic control signals went off. The volunteer traffic warden, Emmanuel Mensah, spoke to Channel 1 News.
Traffic lights here, and I'm there 4 years, 5 years. God, bongo for mostly no Colano, Muko school, Urupanqueno, Ragia for and Mekan, and a motor for no. There's a traffic light in Odia.
Police in Kaswa are constantly faced with a Herculean task of controlling traffic manually.
We stand in the scorches and to direct traffic. That is the major challenge. Otherwise, our duty is to direct traffic. So when the traffic lights are not functioning, then we are there to provide hand signals to control the traffic.
In response, authorities embarked on a tour to assess the situation and identified some contributing factors.
We are having bent cables due to refuse that people are burning in the chambers. We are having theft. People just even open some of the chambers, they cut the cables. Nowadays, people find street light, traffic signals, poles as the comfort zone when there's an emergency.
Director of the Urban Roads Department of the Otusenya East Municipal Assembly disclosed to Channel 1 News that some of the signal lights need to be replaced entirely.
Some of them have gone off as a result of some accidents, so obviously some of them would have to be replaced. Some of them visually you could see that they are okay, but the team indicate that they have to do some further assessment on them.
The Municipal Chief Executive of Kaswa, Seth Sabasa Wonobanini, assured that the traffic light system will soon be restored.
We have also seen that some vehicles have knocked down the traffic thing. And so what we are going to do is to propose a reinforcement so that there wouldn't be a direct impact to either the traffic light system or the poles itself.
The West African Examination Council has identified Bono East and Ahafo as the regions with the most cases of malpractices in the West African Senior Secondary Certificate Examination, WATSE. Over 18,000 candidates from these areas were involved in cheating, followed by the Ashanti region with over 17,000 cases. Speaking at a stakeholders engagement on examination malpractice, Head of Humanities at WAEC, Daniel Dodu, warned that a continuous engagement in practices will erode the trust and achievements of the Examination Council.
Give us the clear picture for people to stand up to their duties and to make examination credible in those regions. For Ashanti region in 2021, we had 4,630. It moved up to 4,097 in 2022. And in 2023, it jumped up to 17,663. Look at the exponential increase in it. Come to Bono East and Ahafo. They scaled to the top, and with 2021 they had 2,023. In 2022 it moved to 18,334, and then in 2023 it moved up a notch higher to 18,504. It calls for intervention in that region or in those regions where we have outlined the magnitude of examination practice to be. Okay, what can you say is the credible nature of our certificate when people cheat to pass and get it? When they go to World of Work, they will be exposed. And in the international arena, our certificate will also be downgraded.
And this is where we part company, but before we go, here is a recap of our top stories. Nurses strike cripples OPD services nationwide. Minority petitions IGP over delay in Ablekuma North parliamentary results. President Mahama assures no immediate fuel price hike despite one Ghana cedi petroleum levy. Channel 1 TV marks 7 years of impactful broadcasting. Visit our website, channel1news.com, for information on our top stories and more. Subscribe to Channel 1 TV on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Channel 1 TV. Many thanks for watching. I'm Frema Edunyame.